Hello everybody and welcome to this video about dividing decimals by decimals. This can be quite tricky and I'd like you to be able to use this video as a reference video, so I'll try and fly through it as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's begin. The first thing you always have to remember when dividing decimals by decimals is that you have to make the divisor a whole number. So what is the divisor? Well, a divisor is the number that you're dividing by. So for example, up here, 8 divided by 2, the divisor is 2. Down here, 4 into 28, the divisor is 4. And we should all know what whole numbers are. They are any number that does not contain a fraction or a decimal. Good. So, how will we change a number with a decimal into a whole number? So if we take this example, 3.7, so we know that 3 is in the ones column, the decimal point stays where it is, and 7 is in the tenths column. So every column to the left is 10 times bigger. So if we move that number over one column, we're effectively making it 10 times bigger. So 3.7 becomes 37. So the golden rule for dividing decimals by decimals is that once you have changed the divisor into a whole number, whatever you've multiplied the divisor by, you have to do the exact same to the dividend. So we know what a divisor is, but what is a dividend? Well, a dividend is the number that you're dividing into. So in our example here, 8 divided by 2, 8 is the dividend. And 4 into 28, 28 is a dividend. So whatever you did to the divisor to turn it into a whole number, you have to do to the dividend. Okay, so let's take this problem. 53.01 divided by 5.7. Okay, 5.7 is a divisor because it's the number that you're dividing by, and 53.01 is a dividend because it's a number you're dividing into. So if we rewrite that as a long division problem, we'll have 5.7 into 53.01. Now we can't do that because our divisor has a decimal place. So we're going to have to get rid of that by multiplying it by 10 in this case. So our decimal point moves over 1. We do the same to the dividend as we've done to the divisor. And that becomes 57 into 530.1. Right, so I'm going to go through now how to do a long division sum. First thing you always have to do if there's a decimal point in your dividend is clone and forget. So like some mad evil scientist, you simply clone or copy the decimal point above the line, and after that you forget about it. It doesn't affect the rest of your sum. After we clone and forget, what do? We do our multiples. So we get the multiples of our divisor. In this case it's of 57, so there are the 10 multiples of 57. And then we use our mnemonic aid. So does McDonald's sell burgers? DMSB. D is divide, M is multiply, S is take away or subtract, and B is bring down. So this is the order you have to do every time you're doing a long division sum or problem. First things first, will 57 go into 5? We know it won't. Let's see if it'll go into 53. 57 into 53 won't go, so we put our 0. After that, we see if 57 will go into 530. We have to find the biggest multiple we can that does not go over 530. So we know from here 513 should be the answer, so it's a multiple of 9. So that's the division done. Next, we have to multiply. So 57 by 9, we know from our multiples, is 513. So we can put a tick beside our multiplication symbol. After that, we have to subtract. So we know 530 take away 513 is 17. So we can put a tick after our subtraction symbol. And next, we have to bring down. So we bring down this 1, and we end up with 171. So we can put a tick after beside our bring down symbol. So next, we have to start, because we've gone through the 4 steps, we have to come back and start again. So let's look at divide. This time we're dividing the divisor into 171. We know from our multiples that it will go in 3 times. So we can put a tick beside our division symbol. Next we do our multiplication. So 3 multiplied by the divisor, 57. We know from our multiples is 171. Okay, then we can put a tick there as well. Next, we're doing our subtraction, and we know that we end up with 0. So we can put a tick beside our subtraction. And we know that the sum is closed out because there's no more to divide, so we don't need to bring down, so we know we're finished at that stage. So your answer is 9.3. 53.01 divided by 5.7 ends up being 9.3. So let's have a quick recap on the steps you need to divide division or decimals by decimals. First thing you do is make sure that the divisor is a whole number. If it's not, you have to multiply it, you have to move it to the column or multiply it by a multiple of 10 until it becomes a whole number. After that, whatever you multiplied the divisor by to make it a whole number, you have to do the same to the dividend. After that, if the dividend still has a decimal point, we clone it above the line and forget about it. Then we do our multiples of the divisor, and then we go through our standard long division steps: divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Right, that's today's video. I'm trying to keep it nice and short so that you can look back and use it as a reference video. Let me know if you found it useful, and if you didn't and you think there is some other way that I could explain it better, let me know that also. Okay, slán a bhaile, you guys.